So, clean water, swamps. These things don't exactly sound like they should go together, right? But you'd be surprised, swamps are actually really important to getting a nice, clean cup of water. According to Florida Water Management District, and swamps help to recharge the aquifers over half of Americans drink from. The Everglades, for instance, are only half the size of what they once were. And unless we're careful, the Everglades won't be everlasting. But how did we get to this point to begin with? How did the Everglades get cut in half? Well, basically, back in the 20th century, when the United States was beginning to settle Florida in full, the settlers did not know how to build on swampland. They wanted flat land that they could farm and build on in the way they did in every other part of the country. So, with the 1948 Central and South Florida project, they drained out the swamps with canals, channels, and reservoirs, which, of course, got rid of a lot of habitat, but also laid the foundation for places like this. Just look out the window and you'll see land flattened, but that was once swamp, now with reservoirs holding the water so we can have flat land to build on. But as you may imagine, draining out a swamp is really bad for the swamp. We cut down valuable trees to build furniture. We disrupt migration patterns by rerouting the water. We completely destroy habitats all over. And another problem we cause, not in expanding, but just in living here, is eutrophication. Sewage and fertilizer, which we produce by, well, the first by existing, the second by farming or even having lawns, gets into the water and causes excess nutrients to build up. When those excess nutrients build up, it causes a process called eutrophication, which causes the oxygen in the water to deplete, and thus the fish die. Because swamps are still relatively connected water, the problem is especially bad there. We're just harmful to swamps. But why care about swamps? They're smelly. We can't build on them. They're funky. Well, as I've said earlier, swamps help with water. When it rains, the water goes through the ground into the aquifers, and swamps are the best at doing this. Aquifers are basically giant underground caves which we fill up with water, and that's where most of the drinking water comes from. But if there isn't wetland to help fill those caves will instead be filled with water from the ocean in a process called saltwater intrusion, which makes the water undrinkable for humans and animals and plants, which is pretty bad. Swamps also have a lot of wildlife living in them. Hundreds of animals and plants live there. Bugs, toads, gators, panthers, manatees, all live in the swamps, relying on its calm waters and its native plants. And if the swamp's gone, they'll be gone too. And as for a more human benefit to the swamps, they help with hurricanes. Every year, when a hurricane strikes, the swamps suck up some of the storm surges and the flooding and prevent damage to the tune of millions of dollars and save unknowable amounts of lives. So swamps are very important to us, to the animals, to the environment. But we hurt the swamps a lot. We've hurt them in the past, we're actively hurting them now, and unless we're careful, they'll be gone. So we must all do our part to protect these swamps for future generations. We can do this by conserving water and by aiding existing conservation efforts that are going on. such as the Everglades Forever project, which started in the late 90s. Check the Everglades website. They have volunteering opportunities and tips on how to reduce water usage. Thank you. Thank you.